Good morning to all. I am Sri Nandhini Kowsalya, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Information Technology from Tech Multitech Dr. Rangarajan and Dr. Sakunthala Engineering College. Uh, Today we are going to discuss about the topic Foundation of Design from the subject UI and UX Design. The subject code is 231ITV65, which is belongs to our sixth semester professional elective subject. Next, we are going to see about the outline of the presentation. First one, UI versus UX design, components of the user interface, core stages of design thinking process, convergent and divergent thinking, brainstorming and game storming, observational empathy. So first we are going to see about the introduction of UI and UX design. So what is meant by UX? It is a user interface. Then UX stands for user experience. So we can explain UI and UX in simple way. UI involve look of the website or an application or a software. UX involve work of the website or an application. So we can define the UI and UX in this simple terms. Next, the definition of UI design. It focuses on interaction design, the visual elements of the website or application, and ensuring a navigational path is visually attractive and effortless to use. Then UX design. It focuses on satisfying user intent and providing a clear navigational path to access information on a site or an application. Next, we are going to see about the components of an user interface. Here we are having four basic components of user interface. First one is navigational elements. So navigational elements help the user to interact between the website or an application from one page to another page or then up to down. For example, the navigation elements are like slide bars, search fields, and back arrows. Back and front for navigational purpose, we are using back and front arrows. Next is input control. So input control is the on-page element that enable user to input information or input controls. Then for example, buttons, checkboxes, and text fields. The informational components are used to communicate information to the user. For example, a progressive bar. So a progressive bar denote the process of the particular website or an application to complete the form or something else. Next, containers. Containers organize content into easily digestible sections. For example, accordion menu. Next, the UI design. The user interface design is the process of designer used to build interface in software or computerized devices, focusing on looks or style. So user interface design is responsible for a product appearance, interactivity, usability, behavior, and overall feel. So here, user interface is act as an important role of a particular presentation of an website or an application. Next, we are going to see about the types of UI design. So first one is graphical user interface, which is denoted as GUI. A graphical user interface allows user to interact with the device through graphical icons. For example, laptops, desktop, or home screen. Next one is voice user interface. So which is denoted as VUI. VUI uses speech recognition to understand voice commands. For example, iPhone Siri, Google Homes, Hey Google features, and then Amazon's Alexa. These are the best example for voice user interface. Next, menu-driven interface. So menu-driven interface provide user with command option via a list or a menu. For example, ATMs and digital parking meter. So from ATM, we have a list of menus. The operations can be done. Next, additional types of UI design includes. First one is touchscreen user interface or GUIs that use touchscreen technology. Like in GUI, we are using monitor. So from the monitor, we are using the touchscreen technology. So for this, rather than we are using mouse or stylus. Next, a form-based user interface. It uses text boxes, checkboxes, and other informational components. They enable user to fill out electronic forms. Next, we are going to discuss about how to improve the UI design. So here we have many points which is used to improve the UX design. Ensure there is adequate contrast between the background and the page element like text to increase legibility. In format content to fix the screen of the intended devices, users should not need to zoom it or scroll horizontally to view the entirely of a page's content. Alignment does not just apply to text, buttons and images must also be aligned to. It demonstrates relevance and relativity to the users. High image resolution is essential for image assets. Make sure your UI design is responsive. Whether user view the UI on a large small screen, or portrait mode or landscape mode, it should be able to read, and it can be menu driven user in which is. Next, we are going to see the fundamental principles of an UI design. So here we are going to discuss about the four C's. The first one is control, so consistency, comfortability, and cognitive load. So control is denoted as the user should be in control of the interface in the particular interface. And consistency, it uses common elements to make your UI predictable and easy to navigate even for novice user. Next, comfortability. Interacting with the product should be an effortless and comfortable experience. In cognitive role, it critical to be mindful of bombarding user with content. It gives us be as clear and conscious as possible. So these are principles of UI design, which is denoted as four C's. Next, UI design tools. So these are here we are discussing about the four UI design tools. First one is Figma, Adobe XD, Sketch, InDesign. So next, the guidelines of the particular UI design make buttons and other common elements perform predictably, which is including responses such as the pinch to zoom. So user can unconsciously use them everywhere. Next, maintain high discoverability. That is, clearly label icons and include well indicated affordness. Example, shadow for buttons. Keep interface simple, which only elements that help serve users' purpose and create an invisible field. Respect the user's eye and attention regarding layout. Focus on hierarchy and readability. That is, use proper alignment. Typically, choose edges and alignment. Next, draw attention to key feature using color, brightness, and contrast. Avoid including colors or buttons excessively. Text via font size, bold typing, weighting, italic, capitals, and distance between letters. The user should pick up the meaning just by scanning the text which is given in the particular website. Next, minimize the number of actions for performing task, but focus on one chief function per page. So here the number of steps to reach a particular function should be minimized. So guide users by indicating preferred actions. Put control near object that user want to control. For example, a button to submit a form should be near in the particular form. So keep user information regarding systems, responses, actions with feedback. Use appropriate UI design patterns to help guide user to and reduce burdens. It maintain brand consistency. Next, we are going to see about the core stages of design thinking process. So in this stages of design thinking process, we have five stages. So first, we are going to see what does mean by design thinking process. Design thinking is a methodology which provide a solution-based approach to solving problems. So it is a non-linear and iterative process. So why it is an iterative means up to we are getting a proper solution, we have to change the stages of the particular problem. So it is an iterative process. So it is important to know that 5 stages of design thinking, which are always sequential. So they don't have to follow a specific order, and they can often occur in parallel or to be repeated iteratively. The 5 stages are: first one, stage one, empathize. It research your user's need. In the first phase of design thinking, you gain real insight into user and their needs. Focuses on user-centric research. You want to gain an empathic understanding of the problem you are trying to solve. So first in empathize, we are getting the need of the user. Next stage two, define. This state your users needs and problems. So in this we are define the problem statement in a human centered manner. So it is organize the information you have gathered during the empathize stage, analyze your observation to define the core problem. Defining the problem and problem statement must be done in human centered manner. Next, in stage three, it is an ideate stage, which is challenges assumption and create ideas. Identify innovative solution to the problem statement you have created. Look at the problem from different perspectives and ideate innovative solution to your problem statement. There are hundreds of ideation techniques such as brainstorm, brainwrite, first possible idea, and scramble. So these are the ideation techniques. Some of the example of the ideation techniques. Next, brainstorm and worst possible idea technique are typically used at the start of the ideation stage to stimulate free thinking and expand the problem space. Next stage four is known as prototype. So it is simply it is denoted as start to create solutions. Identify the best possible solution. The design team will now produce a number of inexpensive scaled down versions of the product to investigate the key solution generated in the ideation phase. These prototypes can be shared and tested within the team itself, in other department, or on a small group of people outside the design team. This is an experimental phase, and the aim is to identify the best possible solution for each of the problems identified during the first 3 stages. The solutions are implemented within the prototype, and one by one they are investigated and then accepted, improved, or rejected based on the user's experiences. Next, in stage 5, test stage, just try your solution out. Test solution to derive a deep understanding of the product and its user. Knowledge acquired in the later stages of the process can inform repeats of earlier stages. Next, we are going to see about the convergent and divergent thinking. So, here, divergent and convergent is a problem-solving method that empathize empathy, experimentation, and iteration. So, it is an human-centered design approach that focuses on understanding people's needs, behaviors, and motivation to design creative solution that meet those needs effectively. So this is coined by a psychologist, J.P. Guilford, in the 1950s. These cycles of thinking provides a structure of the iterative design thinking process. So divergence and convergence thinking are like an inhale and exhale of the design thinking process. So here we are discuss about divergence versus convergence. So divergence creates space and possibilities, while convergence brings focus and direction. So designers move back and forth between these two processes throughout the design thinking process, building on insights and ideas generated during each cycle to refine and improve the solution. Divergent and convergent phases are non-linear. So here the diagram denote as the divergence thinking. In this we are having a answer and focuses on the multiple ways. So divergence is the process of exploring and generating a wide range of ideas and possibilities without any judgment or criticism. So, divergent thinking allows designers to expand the possibilities and consider different perspectives, angles, and dimension of the problem. Next, convergent thinking. In convergent thinking, we have to focus on a particular solution, and then how to reach the solution. We have to discuss about the many ideas. Convergent thinking refers to the process of selecting, evaluating, and refining the most promising ideas from the divergent phase. It involves narrowing down and refining possibilities by selecting the best ideas and combining them to create a coherent and effective solution. Here the images represent the convergent thinking. Next, the benefits of divergent and convergent thinking. It increased creativity and innovation, better decision making, human centered design, enhanced problem solving, and improved collaboration. These are the benefits of divergent and convergent thinking. Next, how to apply the divergent and convergent thinking. Here also we have the steps. First one is diverge to ideate. That is generate a wide range of ideas without judgments or criticism in a brainstorming session or other quick ideation exercises. It used the discovery period to identify the problem and encourage team members to come up and with the many possible solution. So it conducting a brainstorming template. So in this template, it will hit the ground running with big ideas that will move your design process forward. The group can vote to select which captures the problem at hand, or the facilitator can assign a question to each participant. Set aside some time for the group to brainstorm on their own and then bring everyone together to build upon and clarify the ideas. Then converge to evaluate the ideas. So next, it evaluate the ideas from the convergence method, which is based on feasibility, viability, desirability using decision matrices, prioritization grids, and other evaluation tools. The goal in this convergent phase is to clarify, define the problem, then understand and map any assumption built behind the ideas, and clarify the requirements for an effective solution. It evaluates the ideas the team has so far with the critic template. How to run a critic. Present the ideas and context from the brainstorming session. Invite feedback across three categories: what went well, what didn't go well, and what could be improved. So from this feedback, we can get the easily we can get the idea to improve the ideate method. Next, gather the feedback, organize it by theme, and create actionable next step with the same workspace. Next, diverge again to develop one prototype. After getting the feedback from the first solution, we can change the point of view, and then we can change the solution. We uh, test the prototype. It is based on the requirements, being finding solution that meet requirements and address end user pain points and concerns. It improve upon the selected ideas using prototyping and user testing, gathering feedback from stakeholders to ensure that the final solution meets their needs and preferences. Converge again to further refine. The final divergent step involves refining the solution, testing it for viability, and getting the buy-in and resources to implement it. Next stage is implementation. It implement the selected ideas and monitor their effectiveness, iterating the process as needed to continue improving the customer experiences. Next, how to improve the convergent and divergent exercises. Use a variety of ideation techniques. Avoid premature judgment. Test early and often. Be open and adaptable. Use a visual tool to make collaboration easier. So these are the tips to improve that divergent and convergent thinking. Next, we are going to see about the topic brainstorming. So here, brainstorming is a creative thinking technique for coming up with new ideas and solving problems. A team uses this ideation method to encourage new way of thinking and collectively generate solutions. So here, brainstorming encourages free thinking and allows for all ideas to be voiced without judgment, fostering an open and innovative environment. So, is a set of people we have to discuss about the points of their opinion. This process typically involves a group of people, although it can be done individually as well. Brainstorming usually takes place in a group setting where people get together to creatively solve problems and coming up with ideas. However, it is also useful for individuals who need to explore novel solution to a problem. Sitting down by yourself and writing down solution to potential problem is a great way to brainstorm individually. It's the purpose of brainstorming. So the primary purpose of the brainstorming session is to generate and document many ideas, no matter how out there they might be seen. Through the lateral thinking process, inventive ideas are suggested, which sparks creative solutions. By encouraging everyone to think more freely and not be afraid to share their ideas and teams, it can build on each other's thoughts to find the best possible solution to a particular problem. So the benefits of brainstorming: encourage creativity, foster collaboration and team building, generate innovative and revolutionary ideas, establish different perspectives, introduce many ideas quickly. So these are the many benefits of an brainstorming techniques. Types of brainstorming techniques here. First, we are going to see about reverse brainstorming. In this typical brainstorming section, the group is asked to consider a solution to a problem. Reverse brainstorming is simply the opposite, that the teams are asked to ideate on the problem instead of a solution. This type of brainstorming is done before the start of an important project, as it helps teams anticipate any further obstacles that might arise. The second one is random word brainstorming. So in this, one of the main goal of a brainstorming session is to come up with new ideas. One of the best ways to do this is to say the first word that come to mind when the specific topic or subject is mentioned. So this is called as random word brainstorming. In random word brainstorming allows for exactly the team is given a problem, they need to shut out the first word that they think of, regardless of what they are. These words are often then written, done, and later put into interest combinations to see if there will lead to a usable solution. This brainstorming method is extremely fast and usually very efficient at solving a defined problem. The five whys method. In this, we have to ask the five wise questions to identify the aims, to look at the root causes of the problem, to stop that same issue from arising again. This method attempts to curb the problem before it can be reoccur by asking the questions why over and over until it can no longer be answered. Once you reach this stage, you have arrived at the root cause of the particular issue. Next model is Scramble model, which is developed by Bob Yarley, an author of creativity books of kids. The Scramble method was originally a game aimed at imagination development in obscurance. It has, however, become popular in the corporate world as a means of improving and encouraging creativity in team members when dealing with complex and defined problems. Using this method, your team will view a problem through 7 filters: substitute, combine, adapt, modify, put to another use, eliminate and reverse. So this is the combination of Scramber model. S for substitute, C for combine, A for adapt, M for modify, P for put to another use, E for eliminate and R for reverse. Next, rapid ideation. In this rapid ideation, brainstorming is almost the exact same thinking model as random word brainstorming. In this method, however, everyone writes down the solution they are thinking of instead of shutting them out. This gives participants a bit more privacy with their immediate thoughts, possibly leading to even more creative and revolutionary outcomes. The next one is star bursting method. In this, brainstorming can change based on the team's perspective and each session expected outcome. Starburst brainstorming focuses on getting the team to ask questions instead of coming up with answers. Next, we will discuss about how to hold a brainstorming workshop. It assigning a facilitator, establish content and ensure group understanding, define an objective, set a time limit, decide on the brainstorming techniques, set some ground rules, capture all ideas, discuss and vote an idea, then turn idea into action. So these are the implementation of brainstorming. So, tips for the brainstorming activities, which have to be efficient. Record all ideas. Ensure that everyone ideas are heard. Focus on quantity, not quality. Compared to quality, we have to in brainstorming we have to focus on the quality. Then mix it up and then avoid criticism. Next is game storming. So, game storming is a set of practices for facilitating innovation in the business world. A facilitator leads a group towards some goal by way of a game, a structured activity that provides scope for thinking freely, even playfully. The word game storming itself as a neologism and suggestive of a using of games for brainstorming. So it is a game, suspends some of the useful protocols of life and replaces them with a new set of rules for interaction. Games may require a few props such as sticky notes, poster paper and marker, random pictures from magazines, or thought-provoking objects. Game storming skips skills include asking questions, that is, opening, navigating, examining, experimenting, and closing. It structure large diagram, sketching ideas, fusing words and pictures into visual languages, and most importantly, improvising to choose and lead a suitable game or invent a new one. Next, observational empathy. So, this empathy is defined as the action of understanding, being aware of, being sensitive to, and it experiencing the feelings, thoughts, and experience of other without having the feeling, thoughts, and experience fully communicated in a objectively explicit manner. Designers need to build empathy for their user in order to take the right course of action. It is important to understand how the user feel when interacting with a certain product and or interface. So it is empathy is considered the starting point of any design project and constitute phase one of the design thinking process. So during empathize phase, the designer spends time getting to know the user and the understanding their needs, wants, and objectives. The empathize phase requires you to set aside your assumption. The first step is empathizing with your user is to suspend your own view of the world around you in order to truly see it through your user's eyes. When it comes to design thinking and human-centered design, it's time to stop guessing and start gathering real insight about the user. So how Here we are going to discuss about the empathy designer. Here, practice empathy in your everyday life. The power of facial expressions. Assume a beginner's mindset, that is, listen and don't judge. Then pay attention to the body language of the listener. Next, here we are going to discuss about the methods of empathy. First one is empathy interviewers. Interviews. One way to build empathy is by conducting empathy interviews. The key to an effective empathy interview is to structure it as open conversation. It is an excellent way on interviewing for empathy, consistently asking why non-boundary binary questions. It encouraging storytelling and paying attention to non-verbal clues. The second one is impression and observation. It is also extremely useful to observe your user in action, be it in their natural environment and improvised in a certain situations. Observing your user either by photographing or videoing them helps to identify needs, motivations, or challenges that they are not aware of and therefore not able to articulate it. Third one is extreme user. In their quest to build empathy and truly understand the problem that their user face. And designers will often turn to extreme user. Extreme user help to refine the problem and uncover new insights. Extreme users needs to somewhat amplified. They need less or more of something to solve their problems. They often find workarounds to exciting the problems, unlike average user. Engaging with extreme user can help you to identify the problems and needs that so-called mainstream users. Next, fourth one is consistently curiosity. That is, ask what, how, and why. So, what, which is referred to the detail of what has happened. For example, the user took the following action when entering their payment details on an e-commerce website. Then, how? Here, you will consider how the user has completed these actions, what were their facial expression, were they extending a lot of effort, did they seem at ease and frustrated or confused. Next, why? So why now it's time to make some educated guesses about the user's motivation and emotions as they complete these tasks. Next, empathy maps. So it gives the four thoughts, says, thinks, does, and feels. So it says contains direct quotes based on what the user has said. For example, during an empathy interview. Next, thinks. It consider what the user might be thinking, but may not want to explicitly reveal. For example, am I stupid for not being able to navigate this website? Does looks at concentrate action the user takes, for example, refreshing a page, clicking a button, comparing different options before making a purchase. Next, feels. It considers what emotion the user is experiencing at certain points. For example, frustrated. It can't find what they are looking for on the page. So, in this presentation, we are seeing about the UI, what is meant by UI and UX, then guidelines of the UI and UX, then principles of the user interface and user experience designing. Next, the core stages of a design thinking process. Next, we are seeing about the divergent and convergent thinking. Next, brainstorming and what is meant by brainstorming, and then purpose, then the models and stages in the brainstorming, like in game storming also. In last topic, we are seeing about the empathy, observational empathy, then the models, then the steps which is in the observational empathy. So thank you. Hope we are understanding this topic. Thank you.